What's up, my friends? Love Them Knives channel, LTK. Got to talk about a TwoSun knife. We're peppering you with TwoSun. Stop it. No, I must continue in my quest. Now I just happened to, why I'm doing this? Because I won 3 TwoSun knives all in a row, and I'm going, I didn't think I was going to do that. In any case, now I got to pay for them. Crap. But they're cheap, relatively speaking. Some people go, what's your idea of budget? Well, I'll tell you what my idea of budget is. Come on, get over here. I'll show you what my idea of budget is. 44 Pastolians to Mr. D-Win99, who's got 11,500 transactions at 99.6% on this little old doggy here. TS54, right? And check out his little printout that he does. He makes it pretty plain, right? Attention buyer, you're buying a knife. What? So, 205 millimeters, so 20.5 centimeters. Closed length, blade thickness, about 3.75 millimeters. Blade length on this one, it's a little over 3.5 inches. And, depends on how you measure it. 118 grams, so it's fairly light. And it's D2 steel, titanium, and KVT ceramic ball bearings. Very sharp. So, okay. Night morning design, D2 satin grind, lots of milling, lots of detail work on here. Pocket clips milled, titanium, really nicely done. Can't say that every one of these pocket clips just is so seamless sliding in and out of your pocket. They're not. Sometimes you got to grab the lip of your pocket, stretch it, kind of tighten it up to slide this in. I'm not saying this specific one because now I can't remember. I've carried so many, but sometimes they're not that seamless, the milled ones. Sometimes the spring ones actually work a little bit better. Right, Fancy? Yes, PM2. But it's a good looking clip. You're thinking I'm having to do a little mill out here, complete skeletonized there, cut throughs here and here, all up and down. Got these little lines milled through here, radiuses along here, rounded edges, really nicely done, cut through in here. All these little deals. I mean, you start looking at this and you go, somebody took a little bit more than a minute and a half doing that. And then you got some cutouts on the blades to kind of, match up with some of this that you've been doing here. So you're bringing the design forward and making it more symmetrical in that way. And this is like a Tanto blade. Piercing? Yeah, I think so. But there's no recurve or anything here, and you got a little bit of a sharpening choil, so you can get with that. Right? And you got jimping on the flipper tab, which also kind of protects your fingers here. Ergos, it's comfortable. It's comfortable in the hand. And this pocket clip does not create a hot spot. So it's good. Reverse grip, it works. How about that? You think this thing might be a knife? In case you want to cut something. It's like, nah, it's a knife. Why should I be cutting things with it? And it is sharp. And these things are usually, 90% of the time, 95% of the time, they're really, really decently sharp. Not just a wink and a nod working edge type thing. They're really sharper than that even. Swipe this down. And the satin grinds. Good Lord Almighty. In any case, I think they're really well done. Look at the pivots. You can put your Torx in there. This side's plain. You don't need it. You don't need the Torx access there. You can get it right there. And here. And you got a backspacer. which obviously there must be a locator in here. I haven't taken this one apart, but I've taken enough of these apart to see the ceramic bearings, you know, all that kind of stuff. But there must be something here that's that goes on the inside of these scales, a pin that goes through that hooks that up. But in any case, yeah, lockup, it's reasonably decent, probably 30%. Yeah, and this is supposed to be like a dual where you can do this, you know, with the flipper tab, which adds pretty decent detent. And the problem is that it's pretty decent detent, which means if you want to do the front flipper thing, you need to make sure you get your fingers out of the damn way, because they're going to impede. Come on. They're going to impede. See how tough that detent is? Man, I did this on my Instagram. I did open it that way. But man, I cannot do this. That is just... And maybe you got one with less detent that's easier to do, but no, that is not a joy. That is not a front flipper. And I heard from one of the other viewers saying, no. So I don't know if it's that, you know, worthwhile having that option to open. But it works that way because it's got some detent in it. And let me see if I can throw this out. I'm going to take it away from the camera for a minute. No, see, and that's the problem. I cannot throw that out. But like this one's like a 4.5 in the detent scale, right? And this one's more like a 6.5. So this is the 54, if I didn't say that before, TS54. So yeah, if you want something with a tougher detent, there you go. That one there. This one, the 53, and so they will vary. My model, TwoSun, you know, they make them less detent, stronger detent, and maybe even within the same model, you know, the next knife down may be a weaker detent. I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you that. I haven't ordered like 3 or 4 of these at one time and, you know, compared detent. But now that you're watching this, if you have one of these, what do you think your detent is? I think this is a 6.5 at least. Can't throw it out. I can't gravity flip it, in other words. And that makes this really difficult because for a front flipper, you want pretty weak detent so you can just, you know, kick this off. And this one is not kicking off. I mean, that is, I mean, I can pull it finally, but it's not a joy at all. So, nah, that's not making it with me. They could have skipped the whole front flipper tab deal and just, you know, cut that away and just left this knife this way. That'd have been fine. Don't need this. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not a huge front flipper fan. There are some exceptions to the rule on that for me, and that's just a personal thing. Centered right up. Solid, no blade play, no lock rock. You know, like we said, hardened steel insert, over travel stop, ceramic bearings on the pivot, okay? And so really the detent should have been shifted between these two, actually, right? So whatever. Get Manny out here. Let's see what we got for sizeability. These are pretty, you know, these are full-size EDC knives. These are not minis. This one's maybe not as big as some of the others. So the Mannix looks, you know, looks about the same size. It's right in there. Okay. And, oh, let's get the tape to it. If this is 3.5, that's about all this one is for blade length. Come on. Yeah, between 3.5 and 3 5/8. Depending on where you want to measure. You want to come down here? Yeah, 3 5/8 for sure. Overall, 8 and almost an 1/8. So about the exact same length as that Mannix that I had lined up there. And 20 centimeters. Okay, so with 3.5, you got like 90 millimeter blade length. So it's about 92. 92. Let's see what we got. We should be about 3.8 millimeters. Let's get on flat up here. Yeah, 0.145, so about 3.8, 3.7 millimeter blade thickness. And if we can get it up in here, it's pretty close to 3.7, 3.6. Okay. And overall, fatty fat, about 11. Well, where am I got myself? Because I think it's a little fatter than that. Let's put this out here. 4.7 or 0.47. I'm sorry, 0.46, 0.47 of an inch. So millimeter wise, 11.8, pretty close to 12. So about the same thickness as the Para. So this is not as big a knife as like the 53. So they'll vary a little bit in size. It's pretty close though. They're pretty close. I think this one may be even. This is the 27 TT. And that's bigger. Yeah, it's bigger. It's a bigger knife. This is like 3 3/4 inch blade. So, you know, they vary in size from one model to the other. Like the design, my night morning design. And I heard from my buddy Mike in Tampa, we were talking the other night, and he was saying there are others that are doing these designs. I think KC Designs did one that I have around here somewhere, but I don't have on the table. I think it's the TS83. In any case, KC Designs did that. And then there's another name designer on some of the others coming. So there you go. So night morning, not doing everything. And it looks like he's kicked out and done some other non-TwoSun knives, if you look on DHgate and stuff. So, all right. But like his stuff. Very imaginative. Guess the guy never sleeps. It's some crazy. It really is. So, you know, but I picked this knife up at a good price. Like I said, you know, 44 bucks. Where do you get? Where do you get titanium, framelock, flipper, D2 steel, ceramic, KVT bearings on a pivot? You know why he's got 11,500 transactions? Yeah, you think? I think I know. I think I figured it out. Let's get with this. With the program. Okay. Put it on. And not quite 4.2 ounces. Not bad, huh? Let's go units. Let's see grams. 118. Not terribly heavy. Not terribly heavy at all. Gosh, you know, it feels substantial in the hand. It does, but I guess, you know, that's not that heavy. I mean, it's heavy compared to, you know, 2.8, you know, for the lightweight Mannix. But I mean, for a full size EDC, 8 inches, 3.5 inch blade, fairly thick blade stock, titanium frame lock, good ergos. Like I said, a little bit of a sharpening choil here. And jimping on the flipper tab. Flipper tab's not terribly in the way or obnoxious, is it? But it's still fairly intuitive. And it's snappy. That's really good detent. So you want one with good detent. And if you like this design, I'd say go for it. It's sharp, that's for sure. A lot of mill work on this dog. You know, and you've got some jimping here. Like I said, on the flipper tab and back here on the back spacer. You know, only really 2 fasteners doing it here. So that's really nice. Easy to disassemble, take apart. I haven't stripped any screws on any of these TwoSun knives in the past. So if you have, you have. I mean, it's not like it can't be done, but I haven't had a problem. They've been pretty clean when I took them apart, but when I get them out of the box, they are a mess. I mean, when they first come in, they're in that little plastic sleeve, and there's a lot of lube in there. But, you know, you got D2, so you're trying to keep that from getting rusty or having problems with it after production. You know, keep it nice and lubed up and coated until it gets to you. You can wipe it down. Hey. And then wash the lube off your hands, or you can't flip it. Especially with this kind of detent. Okay. Get out of here. Come back when I have another one posted out. Thank you for joining me. You know, it's a lot of fun. I just talk your ear off and then you get tired of it. So I'm going to let you go. Get back to your normal life. But you know what we do around here, don't you? Come on, you know. We love them knives. So stay sharp.